Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 49 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, where today, just like in the last episode, we are going to be doing a dungeon, but today we are going to be doing the second dungeon in Guild Wars 2, which is Caudecus' Manor, which is available at level 40, with the exploration mode being available at level 45. So it's 10 levels higher than the previous dungeon of Ascalonian Catacombs, and it's located in Queensdale in the town of Beetletun, which we were at in like episode 3 or something of this Let's Play series. And just like in the last episode, I went ahead and formed a group in LFG, but when I logged on, I noticed there's actually a story mode group already going that had 2 people in it, so I joined it, and then 2 more people joined right after. So I got the group filled pretty fast, but of course we had to wait a long time for like everyone to get here, which is another, I don't want to say issue with like dungeons and like Guild Wars 2 because it's like a community aspect. Whereas like not really a big deal to wait for somebody. Of course you need to learn how to be patient if you want to get through life. But there are definitely some people who have issues when people take things slow in Guild Wars 2, like in dungeons, where I've been trying to find groups that are willing to go slow through the dungeons like I tried to organize in this group, and it didn't end up being like that. But also some people get very impatient when people like aren't ready to go to a dungeon, where like I am completely fine with waiting for people to start a dungeon, but I do like to check with them to make sure they know that we are like at the dungeon, because sometimes people don't even realize that like the group is like ready to go and has started and like they're doing something while other people are waiting. So communication, like always, is key. But as people were showing up, we decided to get started, and we started heading into the manor, where we had Albert the butler here who bows to us, and then all these other servants bow to us because we are at Minister Caudecus' estate, who is like the leader of the ministry in Divinity's Reach, who is like the political organization that rules Kryta, alongside Queen Jenna, who is here with Logan Thackeray.
Your Majesty, I'm not sure you and the ambassador should have come here.
That's ridiculous, Captain. This is the perfect place to celebrate the détente with the Char.
There are separatists that want this treaty torn apart, and for all we know, Caudecus is in cahoots with them.
Minister Caudecus is loyal to the crown, even if he and I disagree.
He is loyal to the crown, true, but I wonder if he's loyal to the head it rests upon.
Do you need any help here?
Yes, I don't trust some of the guests. Ask around and see what you turn up on Caudecus, but be subtle.
So basically what is going on here is that there's kind of like a political party celebration thing going on, kind of celebrating the truce and the treaty that is being signed between humanities and the Char. And basically Queen Jenna has a bunch of people here from all around Tyria, where we have Flint, who is a professor from Radisum, and then we have Mia Kindleshot, who is a Char, and then we have Sigfast, who is one of the sons of Newt Whitebear, and we have a bunch of other people like Zoja is also here, and Logan Thackeray is here. And we also have Uzalon, who is a character that we saved. Oh, really quickly, we have this very fun statue here where it forms Minister Caudecus' head, but it's all the different like stones that are like floating up in the air and have like water coming down from them. But if you get your camera just right, it makes Caudecus' head, which is kind of funny. It shows the eagle on this man. But Uzalon we saved in chapter 2 of the personal story, I believe, when we were on our Mesmer and we kind of did the circus storyline. He is an inventor who is famous amongst the humans, and he is here and doing whatever. And we are concerned about potential separatist activity because, of course, the separatists and also the renegades don't want the treaty to be signed between humans and the Char. And we are very concerned about there being separatists around here that are threatening the safety of Queen Jenna, and we can talk to Logan.
From what you've told me, this kind of deviltry stinks of Caudecus.
I disagree. The inventor Uzalon is obviously up to something.
Then we should confront both of them.
Fine. If that's the plan, we should check with this Uzalon first. Maybe he'll tell us more about his employer.
So we are suspicious of both Caudecus and Uzalon for what might be going on right here with like potential separatist activity, so we can confront Uzalon.
Uzalon, I must speak to you of a threat to the Queen.
Threat to the Queen? Then you know about our plot. We will not be stopped. Gollum, initiate Plan Alpha.
Jenna, look out! destroy that thing. Now!
So it looks like Uzalon is up to something, and this golem just teleported down and is basically teleporting a bunch of the different diplomatic members away, and is also attacking the party. So it looks like Queen Jenna got teleported away and I got absolutely destroyed here, and then a bunch of other members were teleported away. So first things first is we just have to deal with this golem here, who is the first boss of this dungeon, and it's actually pretty tough, where I think I full on die here in a moment, and it is definitely not a pleasant situation, and it's definitely a little bit of a challenge, where obviously most of the people, where 4 out of 5 of the people in this group aren't even level 80, and we probably don't have any good gear. I definitely know I don't have great gear on this character, so we just kind of have to like scrap through it and maybe get carried by our level 80, who is also down right now. We're just like Ascalonian Catacombs. Caudecus' Manor is set up in a very similar way, where there's some like different events we have to do. Like we started off with an event where we had to talk to a bunch of the diplomats and other people around this party, and then there's a boss, and then we'll do some other stuff where we fight trashes and like mini bosses, and then we fight a boss, and like so on and so forth through the dungeon. So as we kill this first boss here, we can actually waypoint, and we will be able to revive ourselves, and then we can continue on with the dungeon here, where we can talk to Logan.
She and the others are fine. That golem used a teleportation ray on them.
Teleported? Where?
Oh, so now you need my help. Let's see, it looked like a short-range teleporter. I can track the energy signature. Hang on.
So it looks like the audio of the Logan bug there a little bit, but now we can go ahead and go with Zosha, and we can track the energy signature, and I got my loot chest there, and we can basically head into the manor, and we can follow this little yellow sparkle thing that's on the ground. But it takes us a couple minutes for like the group to kind of rally up together in the next room, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. But here with Zosha, we can come up to this door guard, and then as the other members make their way here with Logan, we can go ahead and progress through the dungeon.
One side, we're coming through.
No one gets in here. Uzalon's orders.
Uzalon is a traitor. Stand aside.
So now we can fight the door guard, and it looks like he is employed by Uzalon. So of course Uzalon kind of admitted that he had a plot to kidnap the queen and other members and maybe even kill people, and of course the golem came through. And now we have this other boss here that I accidentally opened up my road versus road panel there, but we can fight the boss and basically just slowly take him down to 0% health. I went down here, but of course I'm healing up, as we can see, and this boss is much easier than the golem, but it opens up the door here where we can revive Logan, and then we can go ahead and push forward and fight against any of the separatist activity that is going on here. Of course this trail is leading down there, and it's very interesting that here in Caudecus' Manor there are a ton of separatists all over the manor. And of course we were suspicious of Caudecus Beetletun potentially being a threat to the queen, because we know from like our experiences with him in the personal story, he definitely doesn't like Jenna, and he definitely wants some power and control of the kingdom of Kryta for himself. And we don't entirely know how far that will go with what he is willing to do that, but Logan is definitely very concerned.
Who just attacked us?
Separatist scum trying to sabotage the Char-Human Treaty. Uzalon must be working with them. And I'd bet my left arm that Caudecus is also involved.
But no matter our suspicions, we can definitely tell that Uzalon is working together with the separatists, so we can go ahead and try to find him as we head down the stairs here and continue following the trail. We can come into like the basement area of the manor here, where there's like a bunch of storage stuff. I really like the environment here because it's like a giant manor and it's a dungeon, and like there's stuff in explorable mode too that we don't really explore in this place, where there's like a cave and a barn, which are both cool locations. But for the most part, other than those like two places, this is kind of like what we are seeing in this episode is pretty much the entire manor that we can explore. But as we continue through this area, there are of course a bunch of separatists, and we can come into the next room here where we have an Uzalon here.
Quickly, you fool! My plan has been revealed! You have the queen and the others! Now save me!
And we can go ahead and fight the separatists around here, and it looks like the separatists killed Uzalon there, and now Uzalon is laying on the floor dead, and we can go ahead and try to defend ourselves against the separatists. So it's very interesting that Uzalon was working with the separatists, and he might have been like employed to do something, and now that he's done it, he is no longer of any use to the Separatists, so they kind of got rid of him to prevent him from talking and giving any information.
Others here. They must have moved them elsewhere.
Uzalon was trying to get past this wall. Look around. There must be a secret lever somewhere.
So we can go ahead and open the lever right here and open this really cool door that's like a bunch of crates, and it kind of just slides to the side. It's like a secret passage right here. And then we can head through this cave that's called the Eastern Tunnel. And then there is yet another Separatist boss right here.
You're not welcome here.
And his audio bugs out, which is something we see in dungeons a lot, where a ton of like dungeon NPCs and bosses and mobs and stuff will say the same line of dialogue multiple times. There's a very like popular one in the community in Ascalonian Catacombs with a reference to a character named Grast from the original Guild Wars 1, which is always kind of funny to see. And here we saw the Separatist say it 4 times, but with him dying, the gate here opens, and then we can go forward.
We were supposed to give him 2 drops. How are we going to move the big off now?
It's not our fault. He grabbed the bottle and drank it a single swallow. Welcome. Pour some water on him.
And then Sigfast is here, so we can go ahead and save him. And it looks like he's kind of knocked out a little bit more than he should have, because he just drank the entire bottle of the whatever was supposed to knock him out. And we have all the Separatists here that we can defeat, and then there are water buckets around here that we can go ahead and pour onto Sigfast. We got our 500th bandit kill there, which is fun, where the Separatists count as bandits for the achievement category here. But with the last Separatist, there are another group of 3 that comes in from the western end of the tunnel there, so we can just deal with them as well. Of course, all the trash mob here is pretty easy. The bosses are definitely a little bit of a challenge for our group here, well, especially the first boss. But this group, of course, is super easy to defeat, and we can just take them all down to 0% health, and then we can go ahead and pick up the water bucket right over here, and then we can pour it onto Sigfast and basically wake him up.
Wench, bring more beer. Oh, it's only you. I was having a wonderful dream. They must have taken your human queen and the char up this passage. I'll return to the party and tell the others what happened. Good luck.
So now we can go ahead and progress further through this area where we found Uzalon, and we, I guess you could say, dealt with him, or the Separatists kind of dealt with him for us, and we probably didn't get the information we wanted from him. But we killed the Separatists there, and we progressed through the manor, and now we've saved Sigfast, who is the first member that was teleported away by Uzalon's like golem machine. And now we can go ahead and continue pushing forward and trying to find other members, where Queen Jinna was taken and Mia Kindleshot was taken, and I'm not sure who else was taken. It might just be those 2, but we can come through here where there is an outdoor area of the dungeon now, and there is a Separatist here who has a ton of watch hounds right here that we can fight, which I guess is a little sad in some ways. But we know Caudecus and kind of like Beetletun has a ton of these hounds around. It's like a very like iconic animal slash pet in like this area of Queensdale. But this group is dealt with, and then we have a massive camp that has some tree forts here, kind of resembling bandit tree forts.
Down and keep that char in the cage. Boss says she lives until they're done with the queen. Then we can kill her.
But now we have a big group of Separatists, and we have Mia Kindleshot who is in the cage here. So now we can go ahead and go all around this fort and basically just deal with all the Separatists around here and try to break Mia out of the cage here. So more Separatists teleported in on top of the tree over there. So as we deal with the first group, we can go ahead and maneuver over towards that tree and take them out. We just have to deal with the Separatist lieutenant first, who's a champion, so I guess kind of like a mini boss where he was in charge of this group. I was kind of giving instructions from like a bigger boss. But now we can go ahead and come up this nice ramp here up the tree, and then there are 3 more Separatists in this Separatist camp, which is the point of interest that we just discovered. So right behind Caudecus's manor, from like a tunnel that leads out to this area, it looks like there was like a big camp of Separatists that were like hanging out here and had this like little fortress where they were able to like live at and have supplies and stuff like that. But we can deal with all of them as I clear up my inventory a little bit, and then we can save Mia Kindleshot, who's in the cage below.
They took the queen further up the valley. I believe they mean to kill her. Lead, and I will follow.
It's very quiet audio, but we have another group of dogs here right next to this chest that I can pick up, and we can go ahead and just deal with this group. And we're now getting pretty close to the end of this dungeon, where I really forgot how short some of these dungeon paths are in the story mode. There are definitely some long ones, especially in the last dungeon of the game, where some of the paths take like upwards of an hour for like brand new groups to complete, where like if this group was going through that, everyone here is like pretty new, so it would definitely take that upwards of an hour. But Caudecus' Manor story mode, and honestly all three of the explorable modes are pretty quick to complete, just like Ascalon Catacombs.
You've let her slip her bonds. Don't worry, she can't keep that shield up forever. The moment she drops it, she'll be ours.
But we have Queen Jenna here, who basically slipped from her bonds and is now generating a portal to defend herself, and there's a group of separatists, including the separatist captain here, who is the final boss of the dungeon, and we can go ahead and just deal with all the separatists, including the captain here, Captain Delena, who we can go ahead and defeat, who's actually a pretty interesting little character and was actually disguised at the party. But we can go ahead and deal with her and save Queen Jenna, and all of the separatists are defeated, and Minister Caudecus is running up.
What is going on here? Your Majesty, I'm so glad we've found you. And you, Logan, I see you've found us as well. It seems we were both on the trail of the same kidnappers.
Caudecus! I knew you were in on this. You were working with the Separatists.
Me? I was a victim here. I had no idea what Uzalan was up to.
You lie! You're under arrest!
Logan, I believe Caudecus is innocent.
Your Majesty, you can't take his side.
Caudecus is guilty of many things, Captain, but he was not responsible here. The Separatists were planning to capture him as well.
Capture? Me? Then I am in your debt for keeping me safe, Your Majesty.
Also, for your own protection, you should stay in my palace. Temporarily, of course. I insist.
There's no... I mean... I'm sure... Certainly, Your Majesty. I would be honored.
Your Majesty! Jenna, are you serious?
Very serious, Captain. I think it best the Minister stays where I can keep an eye on him. For his own safety.
Then I should remain as well, to help keep an eye on him.
No. No need for that. I appreciate your rescue, but you have your own journey. One that leads beyond Divinity's reach.
There are dangers that threaten you here.
There are dangers that face all of us, Logan. All of our world. There are things only you can do.
You're right. So much has been left unfinished. Much to make amends for. I should go.
And I will be waiting for your return.
And with that, we have completed the second dungeon in the game, Caudecus' Manor, and it was really fun at the end there, where we see Minister Caudecus ran up and Logan instantly accused Caudecus, but Jenna, who we can tell is very suspicious of Caudecus, but kind of played it off like she thinks that he is innocent, but she is trying to like put a close eye on him to like watch over him and try to figure out if he's trying to do anything and to prevent him from potentially doing anything that he might be doing related to like the separatists or like bandits or centaurs or anything else around Kryta that is trying to destabilize the throne of Kryta. And Caudecus there was definitely very upset about having to go to Divinity's Reach and live in the palace and be under the eye of Queen Jenna. But we can go ahead and exit to Queensdale, and we have now left the second dungeon in Guild Wars 2. And I just did a tiny bit of map completion here in Beetletun, but beyond all of that and doing this dungeon, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode good here. And I hope you all enjoyed learning more about Caudecus and Caudecus' Manor. And moving forward into the next few episodes, we're going to start doing Chapter 5 of the Guild Wars 2 personal story, where we will be doing some map completion and then some story missions and going back and forth with stuff like that. But I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water, check your posture, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time in the world of Tyria. Goodbye.